Yeah, I mean, my objective here with streaming was mostly just to, you know, spend some time playing games that I like playing, and if some people want to come in and watch and hang out and have a good time and chat with me while I do it, then that's great. But that's all I ever wanted from this. It's all I'm really striving for, so... Yeah, like I said, I absolutely appreciate you supporting the channel and supporting me. It allows me to do cool things for you guys, but never feel like you have to do that. You just being here is enough for me. Hello, Signage. I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. If not, feel free to correct me. But good to see you. Glad you could join us here for the BTA campaign.
Ready for orders.
If it's your first time watching, hopefully you're familiar with the game and the mod. If not, then we do have quite a few knowledgeable folks in chat, and I would like to think that I know at least a little bit about it, so
Double time. Let's go.
well, I'm glad to hear it, Rex. I'm glad that people are enjoying the content that I produce. Because that was my biggest fear going into this. It was thinking, you know, is anybody even gonna watch this stuff?
I hope we can salvage that. Get him banged up pretty good.
Yeah, we accidentally did a little bit of splash damage to our battle armor there. I apologize for the friendly fire, but we were able to take a mech off the field in the process, so I'm not gonna complain about that. The only people that died were on the other guy's team.
Orders.
Alright, let's see. We're actually getting very close to wrapping this up. So I think we go in, and even though I don't normally like to charge, I think we're gonna charge. If it'll let me. Oh, it's doing that weird bug where it says I'm in melee range, but I'm not actually in melee range. That's alright.
Got it.
We'll just roll up on him and give him the full alpha like we always do.
Copy.
I mean, that's what the Centurion's supposed to do anyway.
Enemy down.
So, okay. Good to hear, Signage. I hope you're enjoying the videos on YouTube. Of course, those videos, and again, I always say this, but the videos on YouTube are quite a bit farther behind than the live stream, so you may notice a significant gap in where you were versus where we are now. And to that end, for those of you that have been around for a little bit, I have actually upped the frequency of the release schedule on the BODs for VTA. So before I was doing them on a 3 per week, so they were releasing on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But I have now upped that so that basically I'm releasing on Monday through Saturdays, and then Sundays nothing is coming out. And then if we do something that's different from BTA, because occasionally I'll stream different games, but if I stream a different game besides BTA, then I'll probably fit that somewhere into the schedule just so, like, you know, if we play a new game, I don't want people to have to wait, like, a month before that VOD finally hits YouTube, so.
Commander.
But for those of you that are on the YouTubes and that enjoy that content, the frequency of those releases will be coming more frequently. Oh, let's see. How do we want to do this? Unfortunately, we did get the jam on the rocket launcher loader, so now that rocket launcher is not going to be able to fire for the rest of the mission. But that's okay, because we're pretty close to finishing up the mission anyway. We just got a few more mechs that we need to take care of, and then this mission will be done. Yeah, no, if you are watching the content on YouTube, Richard, then definitely farther behind. I think right now the YouTube releases are like maybe 3 or 4 streams behind where we are right now. There's actually a pretty significant lag, and that's why I bumped up the release schedule to try and get caught up.
Ready to rock.
Because I try to break the videos down into 1-hour chunks, roughly, just to make it a little more digestible. Did it on June? I wasn't paying attention. Because in the patch notes, they said that it wasn't possible. Yeah, I guess it did. Okay. In the patch notes, Bloody Doze had said that if the reloaders jammed, then that was it. They would stay jammed for the rest of the mission. So maybe in the hotfix, they changed that. But yeah, I try to break the VODs up into 1-hour chunks, and so since most of my streams go for 4 or 5 hours, we just, like, I wasn't releasing them fast enough for people to get caught up, and, like, if you want to watch on YouTube, I want you to be able to kind of, you know, like, still know what's going on. Oh, well, we have an opportunity to let Rex get her brawl on, or his brawl on, so we're gonna... We're gonna give him the kick, and then we're gonna give him the lasers. Unfortunately, you can't use a regular PPC in Melee, but we give him everything else.
Let's get this done, folks.
So there you go. Now it is Rex that has stepped into the squared circle.
Standing by.
And let's see. I really want this dervish, if we can get it. So I am going to move up the battle armor.
Coordinates received.
And we won't be able to swarm them this turn. Hopefully they don't get blasted. But if they're still alive next turn, I'm going to try to swarm the dervish and see if we can take it down. We'll see how that goes. Oh yeah. Snub PPCs are my favorite. Just because of the way I like to do things. I like to punch, I like to kick, I like to point blank. And snub PPCs are perfect for that. Let's see. I think, can we melee anybody? No, we're not in range. How about jumping? Can we DFA anybody? No? Damn it. Alright, well, I'm sorry, Erst. You're gonna have to... You're gonna have to just fight like the normal folks this turn.
Affirmative.
So we'll run up behind the dervish. Give him the old laser cornhole jab, like we do. And already expose the structure.
Solid connection on that one.
I am indeed. I am a product of my environment.
I'm listening.
And then here we'll bring in Ozark the sniper. And since this guy is down, if it'll let me shoot, there we go. Since this guy is down, I think we take the torso shot.
This is everything. What?
There we go.
Take it to him.
So that takes care of the left arm, left torso. And it's an engine crit. Okay, there we go. So that's another mech off the field. That leaves 2 more.
Waiting for orders.
Unfortunately, not a whole lot we can do with the Hollander at this point, so... Sorry to say, Bolo, we're gonna have to have you stand down. Don't want to do a bunch of splash damage to our own guys. That's the only disadvantage to running the artillery platform.
They're getting an angle on me.
Oh, well. Somebody just got their balls back. And they're gonna regret that, because, in case you didn't notice, you just happened to have jumped right into the middle of all of our people.
On my way.
So enjoy that bravado for as long as it lasts. Alright, Game Master. You've only missed 1 shot this mission. And this one's a little bit of a doozy, but I'm gonna need you to hit, so... Please. Please. God damn it. Game Master. We've had this talk. You're supposed to make all the shots below 50%. That's how this works. And these guys are getting jump happy.
Barely hit, Commander.
Maybe they're getting nervous.
Receiving you.
They're starting to see the writing on the wall and they don't like what they see.
Standing by.
Well, that's unfortunate for you. Again, You step into the squared circle, you better be ready to take the heat. And you clearly were not. I will not be held accountable for your hubris, only my own. Alright, so now we got the acid on them. That's gonna reduce their armor effectiveness even more. Unfortunately, they did the smart thing and ran away from the battle armor.
Commander?
We don't really have an angle anywhere, so I guess as much as I don't want to walk into the radiation field, I guess we're gonna have to. And yeah, it looks like the rocket launcher did in fact unjam. So good to see that. We'll turn off the lasers to reduce the heat, because I want to try and get accuracy by volume. That's what rocket launchers are for anyway. You don't use rocket launchers because you expect every rocket to hit. You use rocket launchers because it's effectively the Mark 19 of mech weaponry. It's the fuck that guy and everything around him weapon.
Commander? Acknowledged.
And again, the jump jets are killing me on the accuracy here.
Acknowledged.
I'm still gonna fire everything, because that's what I do. But it doesn't change the fact that those jump jets really play with the accuracy. Ballista... Do we have enough? Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be safe to fire at them. It's a little too close. Let's see. Nah, we'll just stand down. I don't want to risk hitting our people with the artillery.
Skipper.
We got people that are in a little too close proximity. So we'll play it safe. And let's see, who's up next?
Yup.
Rex is up next with the grasshopper. Not gonna be able to jump into combat, but we can get pretty close. So I think this is our boy right here. Can we melee? No. Damn it. That's alright. We will instead run right up on them, get some decent evasion.
No target.
And, you already know what's coming, Chet. It's the same thing, it's always coming. Motherfucking full alpha. All day, every day.
All weapons. Go.
No, we can't see, and yes, our accuracy is crap, and yes, the guy has a bunch of evasion pips. I don't care. Full alpha. It's energy weapons anyway. It costs us nothing.
I'm here.
Now let's see if we're close enough to... Yes, we are. We are close enough to mount the dervish.
All right.
Only an 88% chance, but it looks like we succeeded. So my hope is that because we've already breached the armor, my hope is that the battle armor will be able to get some criticals on this dervish and take it out without damaging it too much. Actually, if we've got the equipment to do it, AFP, it might not be a bad idea to rebuild the grasshopper after this, because we've actually got a decent amount of money, and that was pretty much the only thing holding us back before was... You know, it was going to be like almost 2 million C-bills to do the rebuild on it. So now that we've actually got a decent chunk of change, now might be a good time to do that. I think I saved that design, but thanks for reminding me, because I had almost forgotten about that. The Disco Inferno is able to melee? Nice. Well, it's only a charge, and it's a light mech charging a heavy mech, but... You know what? It's what Erst would do. So that's what we're gonna do.
Onward.
And you did get the smack on him. And managed to take off the right arm in the process. Bravo. Bravo, Erst.
Yeah.
And we can now follow that up with a decent sniper shot from Ozark, as always.
Here goes everything.
Normally I would bland aid. I'm trying not to bully the dervish because I want our battle armor to take it out with criticals and hopefully allow us to salvage it. Because I would like to put a dervish on the field if I can. Medium mechs are still good for us. And we do still have some light mechs, so if I could swap out another light mech or two with a dervish, I would not complain. So I want to try to salvage it if we can, but if we have to, we will bully the hell out of this thing. If he's the last man standing, yeah, I'm not going to play games. But I'll give him a chance to give up and go quietly.
I await your command.
Alright, now that this Joker doesn't have any evasion pips,
Knowledge.
I was about to say, we better be getting some decent accuracy here. So 96%, I think our mans has got it. And there goes the other arm.
The Cobra strikes.
So getting the literal 1-2 punch from both of the craziest bastards we got working for us. And now this man has no arms. Which, I have no complaints.
Standing by.
Oh, well, and here comes the other AC-20. So apparently he bled out or just succumbed to his injuries before. I was about to smack him with the Hunchback AC-20 as well. I will give this... I'll give the battle armor a turn.
Ready to rock.
Just to see what they
I
do.
got you.
And if they don't get a critical on this thing, then we are going to burn him down.
Standing by.
So we will just brace everybody up for one turn.
Aye, aye. Affirmative. Hot damn. Let's do this.
And let's let the battle armor do their thing. As a matter of fact, we're not even going to do that. I'm just going to halt the swarm attack. And we're going to jump off of here.
Acknowledged.
And if we can, I'll take the shots with the machine guns. Do a little bit of crit damage, but we're about to bully this guy. I'll listen to that banging. They're angry now. Listen to that. Sounds like a hornet's nest. Anyway. It is now prime Boolean time. So anyone that can melee this dude is about to be meleeing this dude. So here we go. First officers with the kick and the full alpha. You know how we do. So smack him in the back and then shoot him in the back. Right up Main Street.
I think I hit something good.
Alright, who's up next? Ozark?
Commander.
Alright, I know Ozark can take the shot without hitting our people. So let's do it. We're taking a shot.
Oh, you're gonna get some now. Yes, you scored a critical hit.
You can eject anytime. You can end this whenever you want.
Yes, Commando.
We are taking some hits with Bolo. So let's get them back here just in case.
Order received.
Don't want any unnecessary losses. Yeah, Cora, it really depends. I mean, most of the mechs in the game are good at one thing or another. And so, as a direct result, what is best depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, if you're doing like we're doing and charging in and punching and kicking all the enemies, the type of mechs that you select to do that will be very different from someone who prefers to have their mech sit in the back and shoot it out with long-range weaponry. So there isn't any one mech that's just better than everything else. It really just depends on your strategy.
I'm ready.
I mean, this is also true. So, if I remember right, isn't there like a joke variant of the urban mech in like Rogue Tech or something that's like 100 tons. It's just an assault version of an urban mech. If I remember right, like, am I remembering that wrong? But I could swear there was like a meme version. So, hello, glad to see you. Glad you could make it. I think we give Game Master the shot here, as we always do. He's probably going to destroy it. Oh, he's not, because for some stupid reason he doesn't have a shot. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the terrain shenanigans. I'm sorry in advance for the noise. But look at the terrain shenanigans going on here, right? A Game Master has this little tiny hump, and that is preventing him from shooting. I mean, bravo to Harebrained Schemes for taking line of sight into account, but damn it if it doesn't get on my nerves sometimes.
Commander?
Alright, it's time. It's time for the Hunchy AC-20. You asked for this, whether you know it or not.
Take this!
And there goes the torso.
Mech warriors, show 'em what you got!
And somehow this man's is still standing. That is amazing.
Yeah, Commander.
Bravo, good sir.
What are your orders, Skipper?
You are a braver man than most. However, there are graveyards all over the inner sphere filled with brave mech warriors.
That hit something good.
And again, I applaud this man's bravery. He has yet to bail out, and that is an impressive feat.
What's up, boss?
Well, I thought we were gonna salvage this dervish. I was hoping we were gonna salvage this dervish. Unfortunately, the LBX-10 has something different to say about it.
Targeting for a counter-strike. Hell yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I don't make the rules. Listen to that. It's beautiful, chat. It is the most beautiful music. This is the sound of war, in case you didn't know. I'm not going to continue to subject you to that. I'm sorry. Nah, I mean, I guess it's a bug. It's just, whenever battle armor does a swarm attack on a mech, it creates that sound of, like, banging. And, unfortunately, even when a battle armor dismounts from a mech, it doesn't make that sound go away until they move without being in the swarm attack. If that makes sense. Like, I have to dismount the battle armor from a mech and then move them for that sound to go away. Yeah, that's what it is. Canonically, we're just going to imagine that they're sitting there banging their chest in the battle armor the whole time. Alright. Oh, damn, I just realized how tired I am. But Car, to answer your question, in this mod, in the BTA mod, if you mean assault in the sense of like getting into melee and fighting in close quarters, then I would have to say, hands down, probably my favorite and one of the best melee mechs in the assault class is going to be the Kodiak, which is just a melee beast. It's a 100-ton mech that just shreds everything. It very literally throws its weight around. But it's also hard to find and very expensive to buy. And a lot of the equipment in it is also very expensive, so if it takes damage, it's hard to get it going again. But let's see. Almost 2K experience all around for everybody. Thankfully, no injuries, although we did have a little bit of damage to the Hollander, but that's okay. No serious systems lost. And of course, we do have our choice of salvage. Oh, baby. Yes, mama. This is what we were hoping for, chat. This is it right here. The golden goose. The golden goose, the arrow 4. And we have the nukes. We have the nukes. Boys and girls, we got 'em. If we get nothing else, oh my god, and 3 bins of standard ammo. Holy shit. Yes, it is not, it is war crime o'clock. And the cannon ammo feed. The Hunchback Heresy. We just need 1 more of those. Wow. This was a hell of a mission, right? Like, to the point where, yeah, there's a lot of good mech salvage here, but I don't even care. Like, this right here made that whole mission worth it. Good lord. Yeah, I mean, it hits no hatchet, man. But it'll do. Like, the cannon ammo feed alone. Hell yes. Hell yes. Now let's sell the stuff we don't need. Chemical laser anything. Machine gun anything. And hey look, medium rifle ammo, which is exactly what we need for our Hunchback Heresy, so all around, I would say we did alright. That's actually a really good question, Blandine. I'm pretty sure, at least in the vanilla game, and as far as I know, I don't think that the ammo in the bin has any bearing on how it explodes. But logically, I could see an Arrow 4 Davy Crockett bin being catastrophic for both sides. But yeah, it is war crime o'clock in this mercenary unit, ladies and gentlemen. There is one reason that I don't like chem weapons, AFP, and that is because energy weapons, to me, are only good because they don't require ammo. In almost every respect, with the exception of PPCs, energy weapons almost always underperform in the damage, fire rate, and range category against any equivalent firearm or weapon system. And so the only advantages that they have are that they're very light compared to other weapon systems, and they don't use ammo. And so by introducing the concept of a laser system that uses ammunition, it removes one of the major advantages to using lasers in the first place. Like, if I wanted to use a weapon and pay for ammo, I would either use an autocannon or a missile system or a rocket launcher or anything besides an energy weapon. That's correct. They are definitely more heat efficient, but again, that comes at the cost of ammunition, which is the one thing that to me, the primary advantage is not having the ammo cost associated with it. But then again, remember, I'm a Taurian. I'm a shooter. I like to shoot. And don't get me wrong, I have had my shit rocked by mechs with chem lasers, so I have a healthy respect for them. It's just not a weapon system that I'm particularly fond of. And I'm sure there are absolutely cases where they're useful, but the way I design my mechs, I just never have a use for them. Car, the Crab is a decent mech for its weight class. There's certainly nothing wrong with it. And it's one of the better performers in its weight class. There's also the King Crab, which is like it shares the name, but it's also a very different mech. But yeah, Crab is definitely one of the better mechs in its weight. If you can get your hands on one, it's definitely worth it. But let's as usual, we'll head to the mech bay, have a look at the damage. Again, just a little light repairs on the Hollander. We'll go ahead and take care of that. And then once those repairs are done, well, first of all, let's head to engineering. Because we do have a little bit of money. I want to see if there's any engineering projects that we want to get underway. Might be worth doing hydroponics. Could be worth doing a library as well. Just because edumacation is important. Again, morale isn't really a concern now. Then again, so the library and hydroponics both have tie-in events that can increase morale across the board. So I think it's not a bad idea to invest in one or the other. Although, to be fair, the F-Burger event is not nearly as common in BTA as it is in vanilla. Yeah, I'm trying to hold off on... Like, we don't need the third mech bay because we're not even using the second mech bay currently. And the thing about the Gamma Pod is it's going to cost $1.2 million to get it up and running. Now, we could probably afford that. But first things first, I'm the realist. Let's get the Hollander work done. And then let's go and look at the Grasshopper. Because we had a plan for this thing. And I think it's time. I think it's time. So we're going to strip everything. Yeah, oh, right. I have to actually confirm. You know what? F that. Now, that's right, because I don't actually remember. So we're going to have to strip everything. That's a waste of $16,500, but so be it. So be it. And there it is. Restore. And here it is. The Saturday Night Fever. Which, if I remember right, we had maxed out the armor. We had. Okay. So Saturday Night Fever, where we have basically filled in everything we could. All medium pulse lasers, plus small lasers for close range, plus the tag for extra accuracy, plus the extra freezer heat sink to increase the heat efficiency, plus a larger engine, plus a Guardian ECM. This is the big brother of the Disco Inferno, which is why we named it the Saturday Night Fever. For those of you that were not here when we sat in the mech lab for almost half an hour and came up with this. So we are now going to officially christen it with its official name, Saturday Night Fever. And it's going to cost us 1.8 million C-bills to do this. Nah, Saturday Night Special sounds like a sex thing. Saturday Night Fever, I think, is more in keeping with the disco theme. But yeah, so 1.8, almost 1.9 million C-bills to make this happen. And that's mostly because of the heat sink, the engine replacement, the XL engine that we're sticking into it. Like, there's a lot of really high-grade equipment that we're putting in this. And keep in mind, again, it's maxed out armor, which you don't normally see with a Grasshopper that also still has its jump jets. So the only weapon system, the only hard point that we are not mounting a weapon on is the center torso, And that's just because the torso is filled up with other things. So, yes, this is our second Mech Lab heresy. And it's too late to go back now. We are confirming.
On it.
There you go.
When that's done.
Kiss 1.9 million C-bills goodbye, chat. But if you remember from last stream, that was the whole reason we set out to make money. Was to make this happen. Now the next thing we gotta look at is an Arrow 4. So Bolo, you may be our primary artillery guy, but I think you're about to get a very serious upgrade in the firepower department. So let's drop the Thumper. And let us head over to where we store our artillery pieces. And there she is. The beautiful, the outstanding, the Arrow 4. So, for comparison, Thumper artillery does 25 damage, has a maximum range of 1440, and not too bad on heat and stability. It's pretty heavy, but it fires indirect. The Arrow 4 does 30 damage base if we're just using the base ammo. Produces more heat, but does less stability. The advantage is what we spent all of the ammo money on. The Davy Crockett, which is basically a nuke that we are 100% going to add. And because we just got a buttload of normal Arrow 4 ammo, I'm going to go ahead and stick some normal ones in there too. So we'll have the normal ammo for your average engagement, and then we'll have the Davy Crockett ammo for when we get a really nice grouping of enemies together. So here you go. Here is your third Mech Lab Heresy product. Yeah, the Arrow 4 has a maximum range of 1750, which is roughly 300 meters more than the Thumper cannon. So it does more damage, it has longer range. The only disadvantage to the Arrow over the Thumper is that it produces more heat. But since this is the only weapon system on the mech and we already have additional heat sinks, that's not really a big deal. I mean, you may complain about nukes in the legs, but would you rather me put them in the center torso? I don't think that'll work out any better. But there we go. That's only 11K to make that happen. Do we want to give this Hollander a special name? So the only reason that I don't want to put a smaller engine in it, AFP, is because the Hollander is pretty slow by default. And if I put a 60 engine in it, that's going to limit its mobility even more. And oftentimes we do need to get our artillery into position. Artillery is much more effective if you can get it to high ground. You're right. Nukes belong in the head. What the hell was I thinking? I mean, if you're gonna go out, you gotta go out in style, right? I mean, let's look at this realistically, right? If you put the nuke ammo in the head, that means the only way you have to worry about an ammo critical is if you get hit in the head. And thankfully, the Hollander has a pretty small head. Not to mention, I would think that sitting on a bunch of nuclear ammunition would incentivize the pilot, in this case Bolo, to be really, really good at evading enemy fire, right? Yeah, so the Davy Crockett has 1 ammo. The normal Arrow 4 has 5 ammunition. So that's going to give us 6 rounds of fire on the arrow. So yeah, it might not be a bad idea. We could strip out the heat sinks, potentially, or at least strip out 1 or 2. Oh, we can't, because we have to have the heat sinks. Well, shit. So yeah, we can't even strip them out. And unfortunately, if I took the actuators out, that's not going to give us any tonnage to play with either. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah, if one of our pilots does panic and ejects, then we lose that ammo. And that was very expensive ammo. I don't want to lose it because somebody lost their shit. But yeah, there you go. I would like to put another ton of ammo in this thing, but I don't... I mean, the only way that we could do that is, well, now because we've already got Ferro and Endo Steel, that's the only way that this thing can even carry the artillery. So I think we just gotta go with what we got. It's about the best we can do. But yeah, that's, I think we gotta rename this. Where we say... I mean, we could drop armor, but this thing had armor punched through after a single shot from a medium laser on the last mission, so... I mean, we're already running a big risk by running the armor as low as we are. I don't think we do have enough slots for an XL engine, but we can check. So if we put in the Clan XL... Oh, we do. We do. Hold on, Chad. I think the heresy rabbit hole just got a little bit deeper. Hold on. We got options. So obviously, first things first, we max the armor, right? Okay. So. I mean, do we really need to max the armor, though? We could just strip all the armor. And just, like, go straight minimum. I gotta put, like, 10 armor on the arms. Maybe 15. Because the only reason that I don't want the arms to get destroyed is because if they do, it's gonna cause damage to the pilot. So then we'll do, like... We'll give him half armor on the legs, so we don't get immobilized. 30 on the torso. I'm just spitballing here. We can adjust this as necessary. Obviously, I want to max out armor on the head. I don't want any of our pilots getting got. So that's about where we were before. So next thing we want to do is add some more ammo. Give me ammo. So that'll give us 10 regular shots and 1 nuke. I like that. I like that hard luck. Let's see. We'll up the armor a little bit more. Not too much on the arms. If they do that, that gives us 2 more tons to play with. Three Mile Island isn't bad. But, so we've got some ammo here now. That makes me happy. I don't know that it's worth it to bother putting any support weapons in here because, like, even if we do, like, if we end up in a situation where this thing needs to fight back, like, it's basically over anyway. I wonder. Let me see. If we went internals, it's currently running a 175 engine, right? So if we go down to a 160, we gain half a ton. If we go down to 150, we still only gain half a ton? I'm sorry? Okay. Okay, here's what we do. Alright, we're gonna revert this real quick. I think I figured it out. So whoever it was that made the suggestion about swapping out the engines, I think you were on the right track. So, to show you guys what I'm thinking, I don't want to remove all of the mobility from the Highlander because it's already pretty slow. Yeah, exactly. If Artie is in close combat, it's over. There's no point in putting, like, small lasers on it for defense or anything. If we had an AMS, I might do that just to protect it from, like, counter battery, but we don't currently have an AMS, at least not so far as I'm aware. But that would be the one thing that I would consider possibly putting in the support slots. But anyway, I think the move is to remove the engine, but rather than go all the way down to a 60, I think I'm going to bring it down to a 40 or a 140. And the reason that I want to do that is because the 175 is 6 tons. We only needed 1 more ton. So if I can bring it down to where it's only 5 tons, right? Now that gives us an extra ton to play with when we put the Arrow 4 in. So we'll do like we did before. We'll stick the Arrow 4 in it. Go to the ammo. Go all the way down. We'll stick the Davy Crockett. We'll stick in 2 bins of normal ammo. So again, that gives us 10 shots of normal ammo plus 1 nuke. And this allows us to keep the entire rest of the mech as standard. The only thing is I think we have extra heat sinks. Oh no, we don't have the minimum amount. So we would have to stick in 1 more heatsink. So there we go. And we get that one for free because it's part of the engine. So there we go. We have... It's within the weight limit. It has the Arrow 4. It has additional ammo. I mean, this is everything we want in an artillery piece, right? Yeah, we could do that. We could potentially do that. But again, the reason that I don't want to drop the engine core too much is I don't want to limit its ability, but I think you might be onto something with the jump jets. Because if we could put in some jump jets, then we give it the ability to jump up to places that it wouldn't normally be able to get to. The question is, how small an engine do we need to drop it down to make that happen? So we would need 2 more tons. So that's a 140. Now, it's a 120? Yeah, we could do that instead. Throw in an XL. So if we keep the 160... and go XL engine instead. Does that get us where we need to be? Nah, we don't have enough slots. We use the Clan instead? Yeah. We don't even have enough empty slots for a Clan XL. So yeah, we're gonna have to go with the smaller engine. That's the only option. Which sucks, but I'm hoping that the additional... I hope that the additional jump jets will make up for that. I mean, I guess that's true, but we still... No, you might be right. We take out the Pharaoh, and instead of Pharaoh, we use the XL engine, now that we freed up the slots. I'm sorry? How do you... Okay. There we go. So we can't fit the XL normally because of the artillery. It has to be the Clan XL. That's the only way we can make that work. So, yeah. We can do that. And that allows us to bump up the engine again. So if we bring that up to a 160... Okay, if we bring it up to a 175, that's a little too much. So I say we bring it up to 160. We have all the heat sinks that we need, and then we can armor up a little bit more on the legs. And we'll armor up a little bit more on this torso because we don't want to lose that artillery piece. That's an expensive piece of equipment. Alright. What do we think about this? I could move the jump jets. I mean, it doesn't really matter where they go, but... we could put them in the torso. Thankfully, where the jump jets are doesn't have any bearing on how effective they are. Let's see. So our top speed is 192, our cruise is 128 at the 160. If we drop it down to 150, we lose about 10 kph off the max. But we only lose about 8 off the cruise. But even then, like, I'm relatively happy with what we have here. I mean, we've got maxed out jump jets. We've got enough heat sinks. We have plenty of ammo. Let's see. I mean, we can try it. Let's go with the 150 and the 150. I mean, the 150 doesn't even matter. It doesn't change up the weight enough. So we don't gain anything by dropping it down to a 150 because of the XL engine. Because the XL engine reduces the weight anyway, dropping it down to a 150 doesn't benefit us in any way. So, I think we leave the 160 in there. Just to maximize our sprint potential. Give us that extra little bit of distance. And again, that gives us the ability to get this thing where we want it to be so that we can drop bombs on people. So yeah, there we go. Another $500,000 down the drain. But I think it's well worth the money. So yeah, did you guys figure out what we wanted to call this thing? What we wanted to call this abomination? I don't think we can use the standard XL Bland-Aid. We can try, but I'm pretty sure it requires too many slots in the torso, and it won't fit with the arrow. But I can try it. Does it work? Yeah, it doesn't. There's not enough slots in the side torso to fit artillery and the regular XL engine, unfortunately. Or, you know what? Hold on. It might be this. I mean, it might be the center torso. It is the center torso. I spoke too soon. So there you go. And that will reduce the cost quite a bit. I mean, Little Boy is an option, but if we were gonna go with, like, naming it after a nuclear bomb, we'd have to call it Fat Man because the Highlander is such a skinny, spindly thing, right? Like, for maximum meme potential, you would have to call it Fat Man. I mean, am I wrong? Alright, let me see. I'm gonna do something. Give me just a second. Give me just a second. I'm gonna do a poll. And I don't know how to do a poll, so I need to look it up real quick. So I think I can do it from the interface. So give me just a second. I do apologize. Well, see, now you guys are coming up with all these suggestions, and I'm like, I don't know how many options I can actually give you on a poll. Looks like I can give you 5 options. Alright, let's see. What do we got? So we got Holy Hand Grenade. I like that one because everybody loves a Monty Python reference. Let's see. We can call it Fat Man. If you guys really want to call it Little Boy, we can do that. What else do we got? I'm scrolling up to see what else we have. I mean, I'm not against calling it war crime. Ugly bastard. Why ugly bastard, though? Like, I'm not against the idea, I just don't understand why. Like, is it because I was talking about porn earlier? Is that why we want to call it ugly bastard? Oh, I got you. I got you. Okay. And then let's see. I'll just say... I'm gonna make the 4th option nuclear plant. So you guys have got... I'll give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes to vote. And I put nuclear plant because there are so many nuclear plants that we could use as a name. So if you guys decide to go the nuclear plant option, I will run another poll and we'll figure out exactly which nuclear plant we want to name it after. But that's only if you guys decide on that option. So you got 2 minutes. Everybody vote. Let me know what you think. We gotta name this heretical pile of garbage. We must know the name that we give our enemies when we fire the nuke at them. If we're gonna commit war crimes, we gotta do it in style. That includes you lurkers too. You don't have to stand up and say anything. You can vote without having to put anything in chat, I promise. We're almost there. It looks like Holy Hand Grenade is gonna win. Unless we get a landslide in the next 10 seconds or so. Out, we got a 4th quarter vote for Fat Man. Are you guys gonna tie this? Yeah, you're gonna tie this up, aren't you? You bastards. Of course you are. Why you do this? Why you do this? Alright. I got it. I know what we're doing. Hold on, let me check something real quick. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Alright. You did this. You did this. That's what you get. You get Holy Fat Man. Because that's the kind of name that's going to make people ask questions. And you guys are going to have to explain it. So when somebody comes in and says, why did you name that mech Holy Fat Man? I'm expecting you guys to explain how you tied up the vote. I mean, if you want to call him Santa Claus, that's fine. We'll do it like the Cockney thing, which if you don't know how that works, I'm not going to explain it, but... yeah, so there we go. We christened this nuclear disaster in the making the Holy Fat Man. And thankfully, without the Clan XL, it's only going to cost us 100k. So bask in the glory of whatever the hell it is that we've just created. And we're almost up on a financial report, so let's go ahead and fast forward. That'll get Wolfbanes and Floppy back on deck so that we can have them join us on the next mission. We'll go ahead and fast forward through the mech bay stuff. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ho, ho, ho. You get up in the morning, stumbling over your misplaced boot, knocking it over. As you regain your balance, to your that word. You see small cookies and sweets rolling out of your footwear. As you empty out your shoes to investigate, you faintly hear a belly laugh from elsewhere in the ship. You find a little paper note crumpled up. Zenterklaas is sorry. His Zors not fit atop Argo. Also, sorry rhyme would be better if it was Margot. Still, Zent was very happy when he here. Varia was good teether this year. Is this Wolf again? Yang might know how anyone would have gotten in. The doc might have something to dispel this fever dream. Sumar might know who this Zenterklaas is. I mean, Yang would probably get it wrong. The doc would probably think it was something. Sumar... but she has no sense of humor. Okay. Sumar explains to you, as you might know, Commander. I've got Old Earth Dutch ancestry, and we have a yearly tradition celebrating the birthday of St. Nicholas, patron saint of sailors, thieves, and children. It's a children's holiday with songs, snacks, gifts, and rhymes. He'd come by all the houses of all the children, putting presents and rhymes in their shoes. As you grow up, you learn that your parents and siblings prepare the gifts. Teaches you the joy of giving and all that. Here, if you've got a moment, sit down. I've got this old vid called Miracle on 34th Street. Really? I mean, that is the quintessential Santa Claus movie. As you watch together, you see a short message pop up on the screen from Wolfbanes. Mission complete. She swipes their way and gestures you to keep silent. There's magic in this, Commander. Let it be. You know, I gotta give props to the BTA team, cause, like, this stuff is good. It hits you in the feels. Cause I'm like, you even heard me say it. I'm like, but Sumai doesn't have a sense of humor. She's not gonna get it. Bravo, BTA team. Because I never would have picked that option. If you guys hadn't told me to do it, I never would have picked that option.
I wrapped up that job you asked for.
Alright, the mech bay is done. We now have 2 more pieces of heretical knowledge. Look at that launcher. Look at it. It's like the Eye of Sauron. It's beautiful. And then, of course, we have the grasshopper, which... the less said about the grasshopper, the better. Just all those lasers. All of it. They're just like every orifice. Like this is like a Cthulhu monster. Imagine that all of the lasers are eyes. But this is like the great evil eye. So yes, we have committed great acts of heresy today. And I think, as much as I would love to take these guys for a spin, we have been live for almost 6 hours. And I am very, very tired. So I'm gonna wrap up the stream. And we will call it here. So let me get to the main menu. We're gonna save. And I'm not sure who's gonna get the grasshopper. I think we had Rex in it up until now. But they were just filling in, so I don't know. We can look at rearranging the roster next time around and see about putting some of you viewers into some of these machines and swapping out some of the other people. But we'll figure something out. I would not mind taking the time to figure out which of you we want to have in the regular rotation. Because right now, our regular Lance is almost 50% just randos from the very beginning of the campaign. So, I don't know. We'll figure something out. But yeah, it has been a hell of a stream, you guys. I am genuinely surprised at how much we got done. We had a shitload of successful missions. Got tons of good salvage. Including buying ourselves a Davy Crockett, a nice little nuke, and finding the launcher for it instead of having to spend 1.2 million to get our hands on one. Every day you could die. Don't fear it, embrace it. Like I said last time, everybody dies. If you're lucky, you'll know where, when, and how, and if you're really lucky, you'll have some control over those variables. But you can't stop it. It's gonna happen. But yeah, lots and lots of progress this stream. Way more than I expected. We didn't get an assault mech, but I can feel it on the horizon. I definitely feel it on the horizon. I feel like maybe next stream we might see our first assault mech in the wild. And once that happens, sky's the limit. Sky is gonna be the limit. At least that's what I tell myself. We will see. But, at any rate, I think it's time we wrap things up. Ugh. That's okay. I am 100% okay with spending money to launch a nuke and commit some war crimes. What's the point of having a Davy Crockett if you aren't gonna launch it in anger, right? Like, that's the whole point. But, to close out the stream, I want to thank you guys for showing up. Like I always do. Again. The world is a roller coaster of challenges, and we don't have a whole lot of time on this planet, so you don't have to spend your time here. I absolutely appreciate that you do. Again, thank you for all the folks that subbed, or resubbed, or gifted subs. All of that is so appreciated. More than I can let you know. I mean, you don't have to do it. Never feel like you have to do it. But it means more to me than I could express with words. The same as your time. Again, your time is valuable, and I appreciate you spending some of it here with me. Again, you can find me on the Twitter machine. That's where I put all of my updates for the stream when I'm going to go live. It's also where I just randomly talk about things, anime, games, game dev, whatever. You know, if you've been there, you've seen it. The YouTube is where you can find my VODs for all this. And again, for those of you that missed it, the VOD schedule has been bumped up. So we're now doing 6 BTA videos a week instead of the 3 that we were originally doing. And I think that's it for the announcements. Oh, don't forget, new emotes. All the emotes are approved. So feel free to use them. Continue to use them if you're subbed. That's what they're there for. And before we go, as always, I want to remind you that your life has value and that the world is a better place with you in it. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. And I'll see you next time.